Elaborate terraces indicate high agricultural activity, and this still remains the biggest puzzle for me, is the ongoing non-stop network, like a spider's web of ongoing network of agricultural terraces that cover entire mountains. And this photograph at the bottom of page 25 is still remains one of my favorite photographs, and that's literally up the road here on the hill that faces us behind me. It's absolutely spectacular. The question is, what were they growing? Okay, we will come back to that. These agricultural terraces often resembling those of the Inca settlements at Machu Picchu in South America. Such terraces ran for hundreds of kilometers. Such terraces run for hundreds of kilometers along many of the stone structures in South Africa alone. It is imperative to excavate these terraces across a wide area to determine what kind of plants or produce these ancient people were cultivating. Dating of organic matter will be valuable in this regard. Is it possible that these were the earliest agricultural fields in human history? And I must admit, it's quite possible. Maybe these were used for growing and cultivating food. In fact, it just brings to mind a very important chapter in Anton Parks' book. And if you don't know yet, Anton Parks, in my opinion, is the most clued up and experienced translator of the Sumerian texts. Because he's not only learned the Sumerian language, he's learned the pronunciation and well, you got to read Anton Parks to understand the depth of his knowledge and how much he's truly absorbed and brought that knowledge, that culture, the awareness and the language, the words, the meaning of the words, and the translation of the Sumerian texts to life. It's truly spectacular. So in one of his books, in one of the chapters, he talks about the Anunnaki and their gold mining empire on planet Earth and how they grew food. And he talks very clearly that their gold mining activity was scattered across the world. And that's why you see these ancient gold mining civilizations all over the world, from India to some European areas, Egypt, Southern Africa, and obviously other parts of Africa as well, and South America, or the El Dorado, all the so-called forgotten and lost cities of gold, and the Mayas and the Olmecs and so forth. And all these ancient civilizations were all gold mining civilizations. They had huge amounts of gold. And Anton Parks goes into great detail about this ancient gold mining empire that's scattered across the world by the Anunnaki. And he explains that they would grow food in certain concentrated areas. Grow food where it was grown and cultivated and produced, turned into food. And he also describes what the food looked like. And then the food was distributed from there to all their gold mining facilities around the world to feed the humans that worked in those gold mines. It's quite amazing. And not only the humans, also feed the Anunnaki overlords and the supervisors, because they had very special culinary requirements and food requirements to keep them healthy and alive. And I remember one of them describes, in one of Anton Parks' chapters, he talks about and describes the food was like thick wafers, like almost a rectangular kind of lasagna made of different types of plant material that was dried, and it was preserved in a way that it wouldn't go off, and they could preserve it and distribute it and give it to the people to eat, and the Anunnaki to eat. I can't recall now if they fed the human slaves in the gold mines, if they fed them something else, or if they were fed this same food that was fed to the Anunnaki. I assume it was fed to the slaves as well. So it was a standardized kind of diet that they were given, and everything was in it to keep them healthy and alive, and so they could work. Remember, they needed to be strong and healthy so they could work.